Well, taking this week's Advanced Auto Parts Victory Lap is the defending track champion at the very famous Langley Speedway, Brenden "ButterBean" Queen. Brenden, we're happy to have you in the wind tunnel, but I got to know, how did you get the nickname "ButterBean"?
Hey, thank you for having me. Super excited to be here. And yes, so it actually started as when I was a baby. I was fat and chubby like the old boxer Butterbean. So my mom would always call me by it, and like I said, I probably answered to it more than my actual name. And then as I got older, and my friends found out in school, the next thing you know, they're calling me by my nickname. The teachers are calling me by my nickname, and then it ended up on one of the race cars, and it kind of became a brand. And
Yeah.
after a while, I was asked if I wanted to keep it or pursue with just my name. And I started thinking, I'm like, everybody remembers that more than a regular name. You always hear people's names, but I wanted something that made me different or unique to stand out. And I just kind of rolled with it. And now it's become my image. And in the racing world, I feel like my nickname is known way more than my name. I mean, if anybody in the late model world knows the name Butterbean, usually, I would say over Brenden Queen.
Well, look, it's worked to your advantage, but if you keep winning races like you did 1 year ago, like the Hampton Heat, if you keep winning track championships, they'll know who Brenden Queen is without Butterbean. But let me ask you about this. Your career started about 6 years ago, and you climbed up through the ladder, and now you're defending your track title at Langley Speedway. A track title, by the way, that there weren't a lot of wins. There were big wins, like I said, Hampton Heat a couple last year. So where do you think you can make your racecraft better and gain more victories in the coming years?
I just think it was mainly a confidence thing. I know last year we were so close to winning races, and we won the Hampton Heat, which was huge. But
That's a
on a
big deal, dude. Let me tell you.
that's a crown, that's a crown jewel,
Yes, it
So
is.
for me, for us, winning that was really really big. Um, Actually, a little inside on me. I started racing when I was 6, so I worked my way up through the karts to the legend cars, and it started late models, 6 or 7 years ago or so, and we just weren't quite. We'd run good, and then we'd run bad, and we just weren't consistent enough to win a championship. And then we won the championship in East Carolina the year that Langley closed, and we come back to Langley thinking that we're going to be good. We finally found some magic, and we
Mm-hmm.
struggled worse than we ever did. And going into 2020, we had actually kind of made our program a little bit better. I felt like, we had a little bit better race cars. We had awesome motors from Rayvon Clark, and great partners with old school video games. Everything was kind of coming together, and then bam, we're on pause. The season's on pause. Once we finally got the race, we won the Hampton Heat, like we were saying, and then it's like every week after that, we qualify on the pole and have a shot to win, but we kind of got caught up racing in the points, and we would give up a spot to gain points on somebody instead of risking getting in a wreck or something. So then going into this year, I just was like, we got to show it wasn't a fluke. Let's just come out and go for wins. And we won opening night, and we won. Now we've won 4 races this year. So I think it just was a matter of turning what I found last year and learning like what I needed to feel in the car between the day to nighttime transition. Took all of that into another year of more experience that I've had, and now I'm finally just sealing the deal and putting the pieces to the puzzle. It just it takes time, and I feel like I learn every time I drive. But obviously, I feel like this year we're trying to make a statement to back up last year.
Well, it's got to help when your crew chief, the guy that twists the wrenches, has won 7 track titles. How important is it to have a guy like that mentor you as you continue to pursue your racing career?
Phil is great, man. He's helped me, mentor me, and more than just racing. I mean, he's seen me grow up. And when he started helping me, he had to drive me to the track because I didn't have a license, you know. So now, now he's helped me transition from that part of my life to where I am now on and off the track. And he's helped me learn so much about the cars themselves, and he's never been above teaching me or trying to help me understand, which that's made me a better driver. And then just he's prepared me for so many situations because he also spots for me. A lot of people don't know he's also my spotter. So throughout the race, I always have him in my head, in my ear, the whole, more than anybody. So that is huge right there. That's like having, one of the best that ever drove in your ear all night long, keeping you calm. And he can relate to a lot of the situations because he's been through it.
Well, there's always a plus and there's always a minus. Also, having him as a spotter, he's been there, done that, got the T-shirt and the souvenir bumper sticker. So you can't stretch the truth. He already knows before you tell him what's going on.
It's funny because Phil's always been like a very, I don't know exactly the word I'm looking for, but he's just same attitude. He doesn't get excited.
Even keeled,
exactly.
Steady Eddie. Yep.
And as he's been working with me, I feel like I always mess with him. I said, I'm bringing the youth back into him because, he's a, older veteran and I was this young kid and we got together and I'm young. So I do stupid stuff or have fun. And now I'm starting to see the joking side of him that nobody really saw before. And we just have a good time. And he's got that chemistry with me where he's going to tell me if I'm wrong or right. And I want him to. And there's been some instances that have happened where he's like, you did nothing wrong. And to this day, I'm like, if he said I didn't do anything wrong, I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. And because he'll be the first person to tell me, yeah, you turned that guy, or that was pretty bad, So I've tried to learn from my mistakes. I mean, you're going to have that in racing, and having him there to back me. He tries to not be biased on that type of stuff because he wants me to learn from it, and he wants me to lead and be out front instead of in traffic tearing stuff up. So anything he can do to help, he's going to do it.
For listeners to this podcast that don't know a lot about Langley, it's real easy and very simple. All you have to do is get Track Pass on NBC and watch some really outstanding racing. And I got to tell you, your car sticks out. It's easily recognizable. How did you come up? And I understand when you have old school video games as your sponsor on the side panels, but the numbers look like you built them in Minecraft.
I'm biased. I think it's one of the most unique schemes out there where we're talking about branding. What better way to brand a video game store with that type of number and scheme? And I feel like our car is so unique in the late model world that people remember it. They might not know who I am, but they'll be like the Mario car or something like that. So it actually started as old school started helping me in 2015, which is awesome because I love playing games and, iRacing or whatever it is. And they actually started helping, and it turned into more and more the longer we went. And the scheme actually originated on iRacing.
Really?
The one that I won the Hampton Heat with, it was an iRacing scheme. 2018, Buck Roos actually designed I had a green car with the pixelated in it, and it was all a green car, and it had the pink in the side. He actually designed that, and he hand drew the numbers. Well, then the next year we kind of went with a basic scheme, but kept the number font the same, and the old school and the character, the Mario and all that the same. And during that process is when I actually had my buddy Zach passing on iRacing designed this car. And when he designed it, he actually I loved it so much I sent it to Buck, who does my decals, and he was able to recreate it. And I've ran it for 2 seasons now, and I really don't have any plans of changing that part of the scheme up because I think under the lights it's such an eye catcher.
Oh, it just comes out. The only suggestion I would make, and I'm going to show my age, it would be really cool on the hood of that late model if you had one of the ghosts from Pac-Man.
Well, I've I've got I might as well let the cat out of the bag. We've been talking about this for a while. Speaking of Pac-Man, we've been wanting to put down the skirt of the car,
Right.
the Pac-Man eating the numbers of all our competitors at
There you
Langley.
go. That's
Like we've been wanting to do that for a while, and we've been talking about it and just having all their number fonts lined up with the Pac-Man gobbling them. I thought that would be really cool, but the ghost would be cool too.
well,
We had
there you
we
go. Now you've let the cat out of the bag, and my wind tunnel listeners will be looking forward to that. Let me switch gears for just a second. You talk about your brand. You talk about the way you're concentrating not only on your racecraft, but on marketing who you are in hopes, I'm sure, of winning not only track titles on the Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Racing Series, but also getting that phone call, getting that golden ticket to move up and at least put your toe in the water in one of NASCAR's premier divisions. How deep seated is that desire for Brenden Queen?
It's huge. I mean, I dreamed of it my whole life, and I'll be honest. This is a podcast, so we can be honest. I had an opportunity, and I went to Daytona and ran the ARCA race in 2019. The whole deal was a little rocky, and it kind of
Mm-hmm.
fell apart. And I was supposed to race more than that. And when that kind of happened, it lit a fire under me to make my late model program better. So I'm not getting any younger. The odds of somebody calling and being like, "Hey, we want you to drive our car," are like hitting the lottery unless you have money. And I've kind of just took the pressure off and said, I want to go race my late model, and I want to be a competitive program to where I can go to whatever track I go to and win races. And if something was to happen to get me to the next level, I will greatly take it. But as far as it's gotten so hard to get that kind of money, unless it's in the family or something along that, it's so rare to like actually find a sponsor nowadays to that can come with that kind of money, especially now with the way that the world is at this moment too. So what I do know is we have a great deal going with our late model program. And this year we actually have somebody driving one of my cars, Rick Godovic, who's been all in the NASCAR.
Brandon's guy,
Yeah, it's
Brandon's brother.
Brandon's dad.
Yep.
And we're having a blast. I'm having a good time doing that. And I wanted to do something like that to to keep my late model program going. So obviously I would love to move up, but if not, I'm gonna have fun with my late model program and maybe one day chase a national title or something. I don't really want to be a one track wonder type of guy. I want to be able to the cars tour something I want to possibly go to, and I want to travel around, but um I definitely want to win races at Langley. Obviously, I mean that's my home track, and it's where my friends can come watch and family. But it's kind of got a mixed emotional now. Obviously, if
Mm,
you called me right now and said, "Hey, we're going truck racing," I'm there.
yeah.
But I also, the older I've gotten, it's a reality of it. And it took me a while to understand that. When I was 18 or 19, I'm like, no, it's gonna happen. And then once I got into my early 20s now, it's like, okay, I gotta make sure that I'm gonna be okay for the rest of my life if this doesn't happen. I gotta have something to where I can keep racing late models at least. I don't want to be sitting here as a bum with no race cars and no house and stuff like that. So it kind of hit that part of my life where that's all became a reality, and I'm day by day right now trying to take it in, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Young man, don't give up on your dream because dreams do come true.
Hey,
And
I believe you.
And listen, I appreciate you visiting with us. I'm going to get down there probably later this year, and I'll tell you what, you and I can go over to Larry's Hard Lemonade stand and hang out after the race. How about that?
Heck yeah. If they're closed, we'll have something in the trailer for you.
There
But
you go.